Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Good. So I want to be brief. Today, I want to talk about relationships, because relationships are key. You're coming. Raise your hand if you know somebody who's already here in the freshman class. You already know somebody. Okay, good. So some of you have some relationships that are following you from high school. But today, I want to talk about you actually choosing your relationships and actually being intentional about the ones that you choose while you're here. You've all heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child, right? Raise your hand if you heard that. Okay. It also takes a village to graduate a student on time and ready for the real world. And oftentimes as a millennial generation, we've been taught to try to do things on our own, to come and not ask for help, to try to figure it out. But what I found when I looked at the world's most successful people is they all move in packs. They all move in teams. And I want to talk to you today about how you figure out who's really on your team and who's just fronting. Now, I'm a father. I have a 2-year-old, and she doesn't call me daddy. She doesn't call me Baba. She calls me honey. And anybody know why she calls me honey? Because my wife calls me honey. And so, just because of proximity, my daughter is picking up on everything that me and my wife do around the house, right? I want her to call me dad, but because she hears and sees somebody else calling me honey, that's what she does. And so that's one of the unintended consequences of proximity. And the reason I bring that up is because who you surround yourself with, who's close to you, who's in your inner circle, is going to influence you whether you know it or not, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. So I want you to be very careful about the company that you keep, because there's 2 types of people in this world. They're leaders and they're followers. Leaders influence other people. Followers get influenced. My question to you, as you come to this space, as you come to college and you're seeking your identity, is which one are you going to be? Are you going to be a leader? Or are you going to be a follower? I remember being in your exact seat when I started at UCLA, and I was a blank slate. When you leave home and you leave your comfort zone and you're trying to find your identity, now is the time that it's really going to form. And so I was very moldable at that time. I went through exploration culturally, spiritually, professionally. Professionally, when I got to college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. My parents had ideas of what they wanted me to do. How many of your parents don't even know what they want you to be? Right? Some of you are going to have some difficult conversations when you go back home for Thanksgiving and winter break and say, you know what, I don't really want to be that anymore. I still want to make you proud. I still want you to be happy, but professionally, that's not really aligned with my passions anymore. And then culturally, I went through a transformation. As a Jamaican American, I had never been to Jamaica, so I had finally decided to go to Jamaica and understand where my dad grew up. I started reading books like the autobiography of Malcolm X, The Miseducation of the Negro, Souls of Black Folk, Up from Slavery. And those books transformed my consciousness around what it meant to be an African American in this particular country, so that even despite what's going on in our communities today, I'm able to navigate that from a higher level because I understand it. Some of you are going to be shaped spiritually as well. As kids, you went to church. I grew up Baptist. I went to church because my parents went to church. And then, even when they weren't going on a particular Sunday, I would go because that's where all my friends were on Sunday. And now here you are at Albany State, and some of you are going to have a choice. What am I going to do on Sunday? Am I actually going to go out there and search for another church community? Am I still a Baptist? Am I still a Methodist? Am I still Muslim? Were those other people's beliefs that I was adopting? Or are those who truly my beliefs? So these are some of the things that you're going to wrestle with as you explore your identity here at Albany State in year one, and especially in year one and year two. But I want to make a distinction around friends. Because I think when we use the word friends, especially in the social media environment, we use the words friends very loosely. Oh, that's my friend. But I see them come up in my feed on Facebook or Instagram. But I want to make a distinction between your social friends and your successful friends. Because they are not one and the same. See, your social friends, they're going to be the ones who take you out to a party. Your successful friends are going to be the ones who take you out of your comfort zone. Your social friends, they may come to you based on convenience. Oh, we were roommates, we lived in the same building, we had a few classes together. Your successful friends, they're going to want to be around you because they're committed to your life, not only at Albany State, but who you become afterwards. When I went to UCLA, I had two crews. I had my social friends and I had my successful friends. And here's the thing about social and successful friends. It's really hard to find an individual who's both your social friend and your successful friend. Somebody who you're gonna party hard with on Saturday night until 4 a.m., but it's still gonna wake you up at 7 a.m. and say, we gotta study for that final. It's very rare to find an individual who can be both your social and successful friends. And the reality is we need both social and successful friends in our lives. I just want you to be crystal clear around who are your social friends and who are your successful friends. I'm not asking you to cut anybody off. I'm not asking you to delete any phone numbers from your cell phone. I just want you to be clear about who is who. Because some of you are here and you have different majors. The doctor said that there's 30 different degree programs here. And some of those degree programs are harder than the other ones. And so if you're in one of the hard degree programs, but you have your friend who is in the easiest program here dictating your social calendar, what is that going to mean for your GPA? They can comfortably go out 5 nights a week and still be hanging around in their classes. But because you are in one of the more rigorous majors, that's not going to work for you. And so you have to be clear that, look, I'm going to go ham on Thursdays and Saturdays. But do not invite me out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday, because I'm in the books. So you got to be clear. So I want to fast forward a little bit to my two crews. My social friends, I was a square in high school, so I didn't go out that much. So when I went to college, I didn't just go to parties, I actually started throwing parties. And so me and my crew, we would throw parties at different apartments around campus and in Westwood, and we had a lot of fun together. We made some money together. And then I had another crew that I hung with, and there was no overlap between these crews whatsoever. Nobody overlapped except for me. This other crew was a crew that I would go study with when it was crunch time. It was a crew that I would go to tutoring with. It was a crew that was actually, most of them were engineers, so they were always in the books. And early on in my journey, I was being more influenced by my social crew than by my successful crew. So much so that the first summer after my freshman year, my friends and I were promoting a party, and I just bought my first car. It was a 1990 190E Mercedes-Benz with money I'd saved up from tutoring and working at the batting cage during high school. And I just had it for about 2 weeks, and we wait in the parking lot of this party that's coming out to pass out our flyers. And the moment I pull into that parking lot, and turn off the headlights and turn off the engine, 2 men jump out of the car in front of me with guns drawn. And all of a sudden, I'm staring down the barrel of a gun. Without words being exchanged, the keys were exchanged, and the car was gone. And I'm actually grateful for that moment today, because without that moment, I wouldn't be here in front of you. That was actually my wake-up call. See, a lot of people don't start asking these real questions about life Like, how do I define success? What are my passions? What I really want to do, until they start getting gray hairs and they get closer to quote unquote death. But I had that experience at the age of 18 where I was this close to death. And so now I've been able to live my life with that wisdom. And that's what I'm here to share with you today and tomorrow. You see, hanging out with my social friends had me at gunpoint. But when I think about my successful friends, those are the people who kept me on point. Your social friends will get you in precarious situations that you aren't meant to be in, and your successful friends will push you down the path that you say you want for your life. So I want to just fast forward really quickly to where my social and successful friends are today, because you're going to be making some of those choices with the people that you meet in the next few weeks. My social friends, all of them graduated late. All of them graduated late. UCLA, $25,000. So when you graduate late, that's an extra $25,000 in debt for each year that you graduate late. Those are my social friends. All my successful friends graduated on time. My social friends barely made it out of undergrad. All my successful friends graduated from grad school. My social friends today all have 5-figure jobs. All of my successful friends have 6-figure jobs. My social friends are still renters. My successful friends are homeowners. My social friends and I are no longer connected. My successful friends and I are. And so had I not shifted my energy from hanging out with my successful friends more during my sophomore, junior, and senior year, I would have been on the other side of the equation, and my life would look completely different, simply based on who I chose to hang around. So, some quick things to look for as you're trying to decide